This is an early disclaimer. I hate the terms white and black considering the shades of humanity. But since Justin Trudeau would rather focus on gender and race rather than civics and responsibility, I'm afraid I'm going to have to use the brush I feel he can understand. So this is the Canadian Freedom Convoy 2022. My Ottawa quest and who I saw representing Canada and our values. Well, I saw a black law enforcement officer with his white educator wife and their two beautiful daughters.
It's about to go down!
Nova Scotia was there along with a black woman and a white man and what appears to be their 3 children.
Oh, I went past my stop. You guys have a great day.
I also passed by a wonderful black woman with her white beau and a ginger family with 3 kids of their own. I saw Asians and Indigenous people as well with a message of their own. I don't know who these guys were, but it doesn't matter, they were hilarious. I find this girl so beautiful, but the maple leaf, the rainbow, and the cowboy in the reflection of her glass pulls the Canadian story all together. I saw an Iroquois flag amongst a gang of freaks dancing to It's Raining Men. I saw godly people and patriots. People with something to say. People rejoicing and dancing on a logging truck. Police and beautiful Persians. I saw a gentle-faced ginger with this little silver ring in his beard with a ribbon on it representing his support for perhaps our veteran soldiers who have a sworn oath to protect Canada from enemies foreign and domestic. Or maybe the ribbon represents survivors of a different type. I saw a black man with a hockey stick. We have them in Canada because Canada is not a racist country. And I would never think of censoring any smiling person from freely expressing their thoughts. I listened to this old, wise native woman who was very interesting, as well as this young, beautiful Quebecois woman who, like drops of water, joined together with other drops of water to fill this bucket of fatigue for freedom. These drops were setting an example for the new generation of Canadians.
Hi, sweetie.
This little wonder came up to me and said she liked my flag, and her family posed for a picture. This love-filled, patriotic grandmother and granddaughter representing their family did the same thing. In fact, I saw many families gathered together expressing their concerns and thanking the truckers. Teaching their children what a grassroots movement looks like, and the importance of their role in how and how much they're governed. The older generation who were given civics classes in school, civics classes that teach children how our system of government works and how they fit into that system as citizens. Without those classes, children are taught to disconnect themselves from their relationship with their government. Keeping people disconnected and ignorant serves the tyrants well, considering that only 37% of eligible voters voted in the last federal election. There were a lot of Canadians of different backgrounds warning of tyrannies. The Poles were there, the Romanians were there, Ukrainians, Russians, and Greeks, just to name a few. Even Sasquatch came out to express his concerns about the tyrannical direction our country is going in. I talked with a German Métis trucker with many similar thoughts of her own to express. In fact, I talked to a few female truckers.
Hey, you look kind of girly to be a misogynistic racist. All right, and a trucker!
And I saw loving couples, hard-working, patriotic, working-class Canadians pulling our country together with love. I saw a Quebecois with a French placard and a Canadian flag on his back. This movement was bringing our country together. And you'd have to be a Quebecer to know the history of Quebec and Canada to understand how much this meant to me when I saw this. I saw almost every flag in our nation represented there, from Newfoundland and Labrador to the Northwest Territories and British Columbia. The West and Central provinces were definitely there, talking with those from the East. And I was so glad when I finally saw Prince Edward Island represented by these brave and sexy Canadians.
Hey! You guys were the last province I got! Woo!
You talk about sexy, this guy Big Bear had great cheekbones, was very intelligent, and spoke very well. Many Indigenous communities were there, sharing their music and the love in their hearts. Every color of the rainbow was there, all wanting to talk to their federal leader, an absent leader, a leader who had abandoned his people and their constitution and their Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
Regardless of the fact that we are attacking your fundamental rights or limiting your fundamental rights, and the Charter says that's wrong, we're still going to go ahead and do with it.
This is serious. Our nation's constitution and charter are there to protect the citizenry against the tyranny of our temporary employees whose ambition might supersede their lawful power. I saw some protesters showing their awareness of the situation with more focused and serious messages regarding the Global Economic Forum, the Great Reset, and the role our government is playing in this maneuvering towards a new world order. These are important issues that each person needs to take responsibility and get informed about. Urgently. It's happening now. It's serious, and Pam has chosen not to talk about it. Sorry, PAM is short for Politics, Academia, and Media, those who decide the subjects the public is to be informed about, manipulating what we talk about, discuss, and even act upon, as well as the subjects we don't talk about, discuss, or act upon. They are the perception managers, the manufacturers of our public opinion and our consent. Censorship and the control of dialogue and thought cannot be tolerated in a free and democratic society.
You sometimes hear about liberal bias in the media these days, how they're constantly letting our government off the hook for no good reason. Frankly, I think that's insulting. It's clear that they let us off the hook for a very good reason, because we paid them $600 million. You don't get stellar headlines like these without greasing the wheels a bit.
As night fell and the temperature dropped even more, I was surrounded by Black, Latin, Filipinos, and various shades of white to red, and probably mixes of all of them and everything under the sun, Canadians, all joining together like a family again, singing and dancing and exchanging stories and ideas and hopes and wishes and worries, just feeling free again. I saw some gutsy girls climb a gateway to express their message. A gate covered with messages Canadians wanted to express to their absent government. You may not agree with them all, but I hope you take a moment to at least read and consider them.
the small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians.
So as the dancing went on and more love spread, I decided to take a walk and have a look around for symbols of evil or talk of hate. You know, something that could prove Trudeau and his minions right. Let's go. Well, I saw lots of Canadian flags. The message, "End all mandates," more Canadian flags, an American flag, which some in the world might have considered a symbol of hate, but we don't here. I saw two lovers kissing. Ooh. I saw more Canadian flags and some religious flags and more Canadian flags. This one says, "Don't tread on me." I stopped for a moment to watch fireworks. That went on for a while. Then I turned and saw another Iroquois Confederacy flag along with a Mohawk flag. These are people who know tyranny, united together with other Canadians in a clear message to unite for freedom. And to end the tyranny. There's no doubt that the F. Trudeau message was prominent and in the parole between the people and the Parliament. You know, the people that Trudeau calls the fringe, you know, the misogynistic, the racist type folk who couldn't possibly understand science, the people he wouldn't entertain an audience with. You know, the people who spread hate speak, the hate speak culpable and whose views are intolerable. Can you see the misogyny? Can you see the hate? Can you see the division these people are creating? Are these extremists? Or are these Canadian citizens who have serious concerns about the direction their country has taken and is going in? Because I see them as the honored, the proud, the fringe minority, divided but willing to come together to show that love can conquer fear and that freedom is worth fighting for. Using methods Abby Hoffman would be proud of, including music and dance. These Canadians are showing us that we have a right not to submit to a collective fear. And that message resonated. The counter-protesters have called these people haters. How could you call a moose a hater? I have a problem with that statement. I disagree with that statement, but I don't hate the person or project my own negative emotions on the person expressing that statement. Check out the message I saw taped to a truck here by an 11-year-old child to her heroes. It really is a heartwarming read. Actually, children were leaving lots of messages for the truckers. No hate at all. In fact, it was all just beautiful. Just like a family coming together after 2 years of forced separation.
You came from Jasper?
This is awesome, you guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All this brought to us by Canadian truckers, sending a message with strength and love, and reminding us that we are the true North, strong and free. So after extensive searching, I saw no evil symbols or heard hate speech, other than when a police officer recounted an incident where somebody had pissed on a war memorial, an incident that, from my point of view, was very uncharacteristic of the event. But that created an angry reaction in the protesters who wanted to give the perpetrator a slap upside the head or a kick in the nuts. So there was that incident, and the abundance of F. Trudeau messages on flags, banners, shirts, personal signs, truck art, and even a helicopter. And if Justin Trudeau considers those evil symbols and hate speech, he's pretty thin-skinned, and I'd say maybe too thin-skinned to be the leader of a people bearing 35 below zero weather. I saw the Freedom 2022 Convoy as a beautiful grassroots event, a peasants' revolt, if you will, of citizens with determination and grit and patriotism and pride. And I saw the Freedom Convoy give Canadians, and perhaps the world, heroes and hope again. These are the people I saw representing Canada and our values on the last weekend of January 2022 in our nation's capital.